lot of research on YouTube and Facebook as well as the internet, and about cleaning, well, about electrolysis. That's electroshocking rust off of metal, as well as electrolysis on carburetors. But I've seen a lot of videos where the metal gets ruined due to due to the electrolysis and rust being trapped inside of air bubbles in the steel and stuff. And I've seen a lot of metal, brass, and copper and electrolysis videos that get pretty pitted and ruined. So I have a carburetor. My show is why buy it when you can build it. I'm not going to go ahead and buy a rebuild kit because, again, why buy it when you can build it? So now I am doing a little cleaning job here. Now I have my carburetor that comes off of Frankencart here. As you see, I've already got it torn down, and I've had it sitting overnight in some Mean Green Super Clean, and actually it got it looking pretty dang good. I wish I would have took a video of it beforehand, but it was all gunked up. This carburetor was completely shot. There was no hope for this carburetor. So even, I mean, you can look at the pilot here. If you don't know what this is, when you hit the throttle, pulls the needle up out of the shaft here, which allows the gas flow to go to the carburetor. Now here is all the jets and air screws and all that, and you can really see the nastiness in this. And I want to clean this, and I don't want to use electrolysis on it because I don't want any of it to get ruined. Looking on YouTube, I found a couple different ways. One is using apple cider vinegar. One is using white vinegar, as well as salt and Laundry Booster Arm & Hammer Super Wash Soda. For this video, I am going to use the white vinegar and the salt, and that's just on these. See if we can turn these back to brass. I mean, look at that. That's pretty nasty. But I'm a poor man, ain't got much. So with that said, let's get started. Let me set this up here, move this chair out the way. First, what we're going to do is we're going to put all our pieces that we want cleaned into the bowl or container or whatever we're going to use. Put it all in there. No, I'm sorry. We're not going to do that part first. We are going to put our salt in there. I see everybody else put their stuff in there and then put the salt in there. I don't know how much salt to put in there, but salty, 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 salty. Are you feeling salty? Salty! In there. And then we're going to go ahead and take our vinegar. We're going to pour our vinegar in, on top of the salt. The reason why I want to do it this way instead of doing it like everybody else and just pouring the salt, putting the parts in there and then the vinegar and the salt, is because if you look, you will see, I don't know if you can see it too well, let me get a close up. You see the salt is just sitting down there. It's not into the water, it's not, I mean, into the vinegar, it's just sitting down there at the bottom. Well, I'm going to go ahead and grab a spoon or something and mix it all in there. So this way I get it all mixed up in there, mixed into the vinegar, really good for a better activation. But this works by chemical reaction. So the best chemical reaction would happen if everything is dissolved into each other. So let's go like this. Mix it up really well. There we go. That was loud as hell. Now, let's go ahead and put our pieces in there.
I'm putting the springs and everything in there, minus the rubber parts, rubber little gaskets that go on your air jets. I'm not going to put those in there, but like I said, Let's go ahead.
That, make sure everything is fully covered by the vinegar. Give it a good swish around. And you can see that everything is covered. And the time is approximately 7:48. So we're going to come back at 8 o'clock and see how this works. So you know what? I'm going to put the pilot jet, the throttle linkage in there too. Put a little more vinegar on top of that. Get it completely submerged. Give it a good swish around. And we'll be back to see how this turns out. Now, if you like this video, please like and share or subscribe. My YouTube channel is up and running, but I'm not sure how to use it yet. I keep on getting messed up along the process. So I have a lot of videos that's got to go on YouTube that I haven't put on there yet. It is 7:50. Let me go ahead and shut you down for a minute. Yeah, I just wanted to take a second to show y'all something. Can you guys see that? If you look, I don't know if you can see it or not, but if you look, you can see it already working. Look at the bubbles coming off of all that stuff. It's already being activated. It's already fighting and eating that stuff. And if you can look close, one of them is already turning brass again. With that being said, that looks cool. Alright. Well, I ended up letting the stuff sit for a little while longer in the vinegar. And then I took everything apart. Well, took everything out, rinsed it. And I do want to clarify, this is a carburetor. So when you're dealing with like jets and stuff like this, and you think of it as a carburetor rebuild, you know, if you're rebuilding the carburetor, you pull the jets out, you clean the jets. There's a lot of holes. Like for instance, here's the main jet. This is a main jet. And depending on the size is how many holes are in the side of your main jet. Mine has 8 holes in my jet. Well, there's actually 9 holes. You've got 2 on each side of the wall here. And let me see if I can get, there we go, I use this. There's going to be 2 holes on each side of the jet. And dead center in the center, there's going to be another hole. Now that hole is tiny. Now, even though you may be able to put it up to the light and see daylight through it, does not mean it's clean. So this here is a cable I snipped off of a old throttle cable I had laying around. What you do is you go ahead, and I will show you, you go ahead and you snip a piece off, and you just take one strand and untwist it off of that cable till you get only just one strand off of there. Once you get this one strand off of here, don't run this through through your jet yet. It's dirty, it's nasty. You take a Brillo pad and you just run that strand through the Brillo pad. Try not to take the bends out of it. You want them bends. And I will explain to you and show you why here in a second. Alright. Now, I'm just going to take this jet, even though this jet is done. In the back of the jet, you will see that it has, let me see if I can get a close-up of that. You'll see it looks like a flathead screw. That's how you go ahead and remove it out of the back of the carburetor. Well, there's a little tiny hole in there. Right? Now you take that wire and you stick it in that little tiny hole and you just twist. Twist the jet in your hand while applying some pressure on your wire. So this way it goes through like a screw. Once you see it here on the other side, you could take it and while twisting it in your hand, you can go ahead and pull it through the wire. And once you do this, you take it all the way to the end and you repeat the process back to the other side. Now, one thing I like to do is once I pull it through one time, I take my Brillo pad and clean off the wire, because there's no sense of, if you're pulling junk out of there, there's no sense of, even if you can't see the junk, there's going to be junk on there. There's no sense of pulling it right back and clogging your jet again. So you do it back the other way. You twist your jet all the way through slowly, and it'll pull it all the way through. And you repeat this process 3 or 4 times. Then I do want to say, hold on a second, but back to what I was saying. After you run the wire through the single hole through the back all the way through the front and twist it around there a couple times to clean it completely out, you want to focus your attention on the side, on each one of these holes. Now you want to do the same thing with the wire. Stick the wire in one port. You just move it around gently. You don't want to force it. This is brass. Brass scars, brass breaks, brass moves. Okay? You can change the diameter of the holes of the jet, which would not be good for you, alright, by putting too much pressure. Now again, once you get this in there, instead of twisting the jet, you're going to twist the wire. You're going to twist the wire all the way through. That's why I said you do not want to straighten that, because them humps in there, as you're twisting, is getting both sides of the holes. And you're going to run it through both back and forth, until you got it clear. I've already done these. I was just using this for an example. Put your wire to the side. It's really easy to lose your wire. But I wanted to show you, after I cleaned it all, I have everything here, and you will notice that there's different sizes. For instance, this right here is a jet as well. This is not your main jet. If you ever look at the bottom of the carburetor, you've got your main jet port, and you've got your secondary, which would screw right in here, like so. Now, this is very delicate as well. You're going to take this wire again, the same wire, in the center of here. This one's full of crud. In the center of here, you will see that, again, there is a little hole. I don't know if you can see it, but right in the center of that flathead screw, there is a little bitty hole. You're going to take your wire again and put it through and twist. And you're going to go run it back and forth until it's properly cleaned out and you got no junk coming out of there on your wire. And that one is done. But I do want to show you guys this one in particular, because I am really proud of this one. You can even see the lettering. I don't know if you guys can see it, but you can see the lettering on the back of the jet now, where this is a 70cc jet, whereas this one is a 50cc jet. Now, I am going to get a close-up of all this. Do you remember what everything looked like when I first started? All gunked up, especially this. This is your air, for your air fuel mixture. And look how clean. Look how clean that this vinegar and salt did. Alright, now you have your 70cc as well as your 50cc. And I am turning, just to let y'all know how bad this was, this is the bowl that came off of the carb, and just look at that nastiness in there. You can see all the corrosion and the caked up stuff. And to let you know that this motor that I took this carburetor off came off of a scooter that was completely submerged for about 3 weeks underwater. Well, I ended up getting it from the guy and tearing it down, and I'm rebuilding it. And I'm not too much worried about it, because I can fix anything thanks to YouTube. And you can look at all this stuff. Look at how clean all that. There's no junk in there. There's no rust in there. Now that looks very, very beautiful. There's minimum scarring on there. All this is good. This is nothing to worry about. The little bitty scars right there is nothing to worry about. They're, oh shit, you can rub them off. But you know, this is great. This vinegar and salt really does the trick. I mean, look at them shine. Look at them. Well, with that said, I don't want to throw my solution away. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of superwash laundry baking soda to the vinegar. Actually, you know what? I don't know what this vinegar, salt, and washing powder is going to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and dump that and start fresh and use the laundry booster superwash soda with my white vinegar to see what I can do with these float bowls.